The night is quiet. A soft breeze moves across the wide and gentle waters of the Nile. The river flows slowly, as it always has, steady and patient, reflecting a sky filled with faint and distant stars. Along its dark banks, the land rests. The fields, now still, stretch into the silence, waiting for the first pale light of morning. In this quiet moment, long before the sun rises, a farmer begins to stir. He does not wake suddenly. There is no rush. His world moves slowly, and so does he. His eyes open to the soft darkness inside a small home made of mud and straw. The air is cool. The walls hold the memory of yesterday's warmth, but now they feel calm and gentle. He lies still for a moment, listening. There is almost nothing to hear. Perhaps the quiet breathing of others nearby. Perhaps the faint sound of the river in the distance. A soft rustle of wind against the reeds. These are small sounds, easy sounds, sounds that belong to this land. This is how the day begins. Not with noise, not with urgency, but with a slow and steady awareness of time moving forward. The farmer sits up. The ground beneath him is firm. The home is simple. The floor is packed earth, smooth from many years of careful use. There are no decorations, no excess objects, only what is needed: a clay jar, a woven basket, a few tools resting quietly in the corner. Everything has its place. He moves carefully so as not to disturb the others. His family still sleeps. Their breathing rises and falls in a soft rhythm. There is comfort in this shared space, in the closeness, in the quiet understanding that each day will follow much the same path as the one before. He steps outside. The air greets him gently. It is cool now, but it will not stay this way. Soon the sun will rise and the land will warm. The farmer knows this well. He does not need to think about it. His body already understands the rhythm of heat and light, of work and rest. He looks toward the horizon. There is a faint line of pale gray where the sky begins to change. Morning is coming, slowly and quietly, just as it always does. The Nile lies nearby, wide and calm. It is the center of everything. The farmer does not see it as something separate from his life. It is simply there, always there, giving water, shaping the land, guiding the seasons. He begins to walk. His steps are slow and steady along a narrow path worn into the earth. The ground feels familiar beneath his feet. Each small stone, each curve of the path is known to him, even in the dim light. Around him, the land begins to wake. A bird calls once, softly, then another answers. The sound is not sharp or sudden. It blends into the quiet, becoming part of it. The farmer reaches the edge of his field. It stretches out before him, dark and still, waiting. The soil is rich, darkened by the river's gift. Not long ago, the floodwaters covered this land, leaving behind a layer of fine, soft silt. This is what makes the field ready. This is what allows life to grow here. He stands for a moment, looking. There is no hurry. The day will be long, but it will unfold slowly. There is time for each task, time for each movement, time for each breath. He kneels and touches the soil. It is cool and slightly damp. He presses it gently between his fingers. This simple act tells him what he needs to know. The land is ready. Behind him, the sky grows a little lighter. A soft blue begins to spread, pushing away the darkness. The stars fade one by one, not disappearing suddenly, but slowly letting go of the sky. The farmer rises. Soon others will wake. The village will begin to move. But for now, this moment belongs to him and the quiet land. He walks back toward his home. Inside there is a small fire pit. It is not burning yet. He kneels beside it and begins to prepare it carefully. A few dry pieces of straw, a small bundle of reeds. He works slowly, without wasting movement. When the fire begins, it does so gently. A faint glow, a soft crackle, a small warmth that grows little by little. The light from the fire fills the room with a soft orange glow. It touches the walls, the floor, the faces of those still sleeping. One by one, they begin to wake. There is no need for words. The rhythm of the day is understood by all. Each person moves in their own quiet way, preparing for what must be done. A simple meal is shared. Bread, made from grain grown in these same fields, perhaps a few dates, maybe a little water from the river, carried carefully in clay jars. The food is plain, but it is enough. They eat slowly. There is no rush, no distraction, just the steady act of beginning the day. Outside, the sun finally rises. Its light spreads across the land, warm and steady. The fields glow softly. The river reflects the sky, now pale and wide. The farmer steps out once more. Now the work begins. He carries a simple wooden tool, worn smooth by years of use. It fits naturally in his hands. There is no need to adjust or think about it. His body already knows how to move. He returns to the field. The soil waits. He begins to work. Each motion is steady. Each step follows the one before. There is no sudden movement, no wasted effort. The tool presses into the earth, turning it gently, preparing it for planting. The rhythm is slow. Press, lift, step, turn, again and again. The sun climbs higher, but the farmer does not look at it often. He feels its warmth. He senses its movement. Time is not measured in numbers here. It is felt in the body, in the light, in the changing air. Other farmers appear in nearby fields. They do not call out. There is no need. Each one understands the work. Each one follows the same quiet rhythm. Together they move across the land, not as a group, but as individuals sharing the same steady purpose. The sound of work fills the air. Soft scrapings of tools, gentle footsteps, the occasional call of a bird overhead. It is not loud. It is not busy. It is simply the sound of life continuing, one small movement at a time. Hours pass, though they do not feel heavy. The farmer continues. His hands move with quiet strength. His breathing remains calm. There is effort, but it is steady effort, familiar and expected. When the sun reaches its highest point, the light becomes stronger. The air grows warmer. This is the time to pause. He steps back from the field and rests. There is shade nearby, perhaps from a simple structure or a cluster of trees. He sits down, placing his tool beside him. The ground is warm now. He drinks water slowly. Each sip is careful, measured, appreciated. There is no rush to return to work. Rest is part of the rhythm, just as much as labor. The land does not demand speed. It asks only for patience. The farmer closes his eyes for a moment. The warmth of the sun, the gentle movement of air, the distant sound of the river, all of it blends together into a quiet stillness. This is how the day moves, slowly, gently, without urgency. And when he opens his eyes again, the work will continue, just as it always has, just as it always will.
The sun has moved a little higher now. Its warmth rests softly on the land, spreading across the wide fields beside the Nile. The light is not harsh yet. It feels gentle, almost comforting as it touches the farmer's shoulders and the quiet earth beneath his feet. He stands again. There is no sudden movement. His body rises slowly, as if it has always known the exact pace it should follow. The short rest has settled into him. His breathing is even. His hands feel ready once more. He returns to the field. The soil still holds the marks of his earlier work. Long, shallow lines stretch across the ground, each one placed with care. Nothing here is rushed. Nothing is careless. Every small action adds to something larger, something that will take time to become visible. He steps forward. The tool meets the earth again. Press, lift, step, turn. The rhythm continues. It is a quiet rhythm, but it is steady, like the river itself. The farmer does not think about each motion. He does not count them. His body remembers, and that is enough. Nearby, another farmer moves in the same way. They are not speaking, but there is an understanding between them, a shared pattern, a shared life. Their work connects them even in silence. The air carries soft sounds, a distant splash from the river's edge, the gentle rustling of reeds. Occasionally, the faint call of birds circling high above. None of these sounds interrupt the calm. They belong here just as much as the soil and the sky. Time passes slowly. The sun shifts almost without notice. Shadows move gently across the ground. The farmer's path across the field becomes longer. The area of turned soil grows wider. This is how progress is seen here, not in quick changes, but in quiet, steady expansion. At the edge of the field, a narrow channel carries water from the Nile. The water moves slowly, guided by simple cuts in the earth. These channels are not random. They are shaped with care, designed to bring just enough water to the soil, no more, no less. He walks towards it. He pauses, looking down at the flowing water. It reflects the sky, now brighter and clearer. The surface moves gently, creating small patterns that shift and fade. He kneels beside it. With his hands, he adjusts the edge of the channel. A small amount of soil is moved. The flow changes slightly, just enough to guide the water in a different direction. This is careful work. Too much water could harm the crops. Too little would not be enough. Balance is everything. He watches for a moment. The water settles into its new path. Satisfied, he rises again and returns to his work. In the distance, the village is beginning to feel more alive. Thin lines of smoke rise into the air, drifting slowly upward. People move between homes, their figures small against the wide land. Children's soft voices can sometimes be heard, though faint and far away. But here, in the field, the focus remains simple. Work continues. The farmer's hands are steady. The tool moves in a familiar pattern. His feet press into the soil, leaving behind quiet marks that will soon blend into the earth. The sun climbs higher still. Now the warmth begins to deepen. It is not uncomfortable, but it is noticeable. The air feels thicker, slower. The farmer adjusts without thinking. His movements become slightly more measured, conserving energy, following the natural rhythm of the day. He pauses again, not for long, just enough to breathe, to stretch his hands, to feel the moment. Then he continues. This pattern repeats. Work, pause, work again. There is no strict schedule, only a gentle understanding of what the body needs and what the land requires. As the day moves forward, other tasks begin to call for attention. The field is only one part of the farmer's life. He walks towards a small area where tools are kept. They are simple, but each one has a purpose. A wooden hoe, a curved blade, woven baskets made from reeds. These tools are not new. They carry the marks of long use, smooth where hands have held them again and again. He picks up a basket. It is light but strong. Nearby, a small patch of earlier crops waits that were planted before and now they have grown enough to be gathered. The plants are not large, but they are ready. He begins to harvest. Each movement is gentle. He bends, gathers, places the plants into the basket. There is no tearing, no force, just careful handling, as if each plant matters. And it does, because each one will become food. Each one will be shared. The basket slowly fills, the weight increases little by little, but the farmer adjusts easily. His body knows how to carry it. This is not new work. It is part of a cycle that has repeated many times before. The sun begins its slow journey downward. It is not yet afternoon, but the change is already starting, almost too subtle to notice unless one is watching closely. The light softens just a little. The shadows shift again. The farmer lifts the basket. He carries it back towards his home. The path feels familiar beneath his feet, the same narrow trail, the same gentle curves. Nothing has changed, and yet everything continues to move forward. When he reaches the village, the quiet activity continues. Others are doing similar work. Some carry water, some prepare food, some sit in the shade, resting for a moment before returning to their tasks. There is no noise, no rush, just a shared rhythm. He places the basket inside his home. The space is cool compared to the outside. The thick walls hold back the heat, creating a calm and shaded place to rest and work. He sets the basket down carefully. Nothing is wasted. Everything is used with care. He sits again for a moment. His hands rest on his knees. His breathing slows. The sounds of the village drift softly through the air. Time continues, always slowly, always steadily. And soon he will return to the field once more, because the day is not yet finished and the land still waits.
The day continues without any sudden change. The light has softened just a little more now. It is still bright, still warm, but there is a quiet shift in the feeling of the air. The strong stillness of midday has passed, and something gentler has taken its place. The farmer rises once again from his short rest inside the cool shade of his home. He does not hurry. There is no need to rush back into the sun. The work will be there, waiting, just as it always is. The land does not move away. It remains, patient and steady. He steps outside. The warmth greets him again, but now it feels familiar, settled into the rhythm of the afternoon. The village is calm. A few figures move slowly in the distance, each one following their own quiet path of work. He takes a moment to look toward the Nile. The river glows under the light. Its surface moves gently, never still, never hurried. It reflects the sky in soft patterns that shift with every small ripple. This river is more than water. It is time. It is memory. It is the quiet force that shapes every part of this life. The farmer begins to walk again toward the fields. His steps are unforced, even and grounded. The path beneath him feels warm now, carrying the heat of the sun. Fine dust lifts slightly with each step, then settles again just as softly. As he reaches the edge of the field, he pauses. The land stretches before him, marked by the work of the morning. Lines in the soil show where he has been. Small patches of green show where life is already beginning to rise. He steps forward and resumes his work. But now the rhythm is slightly different. The energy of the morning has softened. The movements are slower, more deliberate. Each motion carries a quiet awareness of the long day already past. Press, lift,
Step, turn. The pattern continues. The sound of the tool meeting the earth is gentle, almost dull, blending into the warm air. It is not sharp. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, like everything else here. A light breeze begins to move across the fields. It comes slowly, brushing against the surface of the land, carrying with it the faint scent of water and soil. It touches the farmer's skin, cooling it just slightly. He does not stop, but he feels it. The small changes in the air are always noticed, even if they are not spoken about. In the distance, a group of workers gathers near a larger irrigation channel. They move together, slowly, adjusting the flow of water. Their hands shape the earth, opening and closing small paths, guiding the river's gift across the fields. The farmer glances toward them, only for a moment. Then his focus returns to his own work. There is no need to join them now. Each person has their role, their space within the larger rhythm. Everything connects, but not everything must happen at once. The sun continues its quiet descent. The light becomes warmer, softer in tone. The color of the land deepens. Shadows grow longer, stretching gently across the ground. Time feels even slower now. The heat begins to ease. The farmer pauses again, this time standing still in the field. He rests his hands on the top of his tool and looks out across the land. There is a sense of quiet completion in the air, not because the work is finished, but because enough has been done for this part of the day. He takes a slow breath, then another. The air feels different now, cooler with each passing moment. He bends once more, finishing a final section of the field. The movements are careful. There is no rush to complete everything. There is only a gentle closing of the day's labor. When he finishes, he lifts the tool and rests it over his shoulder. He turns back toward the village. The walk feels slightly longer now, but not in a tiring way, just in a quiet, reflective way. The body begins to release the steady effort of the day. Each step carries him away from the field and back toward rest. The village is bathed in soft golden light. The walls of the homes glow warmly. The air feels calmer, cooler, and more open. People move slowly, their tasks becoming lighter, their movements less focused on labor and more on settling. He reaches his home. Inside, the basket of gathered crops waits where he left it. The space is still cool, still quiet. He sets his tool down carefully, always in the same place, always with the same small attention. He washes his hands with a small amount of water. The water is precious. Each drop is used with care. He lets it run over his fingers slowly, removing the dust of the field. The coolness feels gentle against his skin. Outside, the sounds of evening begin to form. A distant voice, the soft movement of animals being guided back, the quiet rhythm of daily life shifting toward rest. Food is prepared. The farmer's family gathers again. The meal is simple, just as it was in the morning, but now it carries the quiet satisfaction of a day's work completed. They sit together. No one speaks loudly. There is no need. The sharing of food is enough. The taste is familiar. Grain, perhaps, vegetables, maybe a small addition of something saved carefully. Each bite is slow, steady, appreciated without thought. The sky begins to change again. The bright blue fades into softer colors, pale gold, then light orange, then a deeper, quiet shade as the sun lowers toward the horizon. The farmer steps outside once more after eating. He looks out across the land. The fields are now still. The work has paused. The tools rest. The water continues to move gently through its channels, but even it seems quieter now. Birds cross the sky in slow patterns, returning to their resting places. The air cools further. A soft calm settles over everything. This is the end of the working day, not marked by a sudden stop, but a gradual fading of effort into stillness. The farmer sits near his home. The ground beneath him is warm from the day, but slowly cooling. He rests his hands loosely, his body no longer engaged in labor. He watches the last light of the sun. It sinks slowly, almost gently, as if it too follows the same careful rhythm as the land and the people upon it. There is no need to think ahead. Tomorrow will come, just as today did. The same river, the same fields, the same quiet work. And as the sun disappears completely, the sky deepens into evening. The first stars begin to appear again. Small, distant, steady. The farmer rises one last time. He steps back into his home. Inside, the space is calm and dim. The warmth of the day has softened into a gentle coolness. The family settles once more, preparing for rest. He lies down. The ground is firm, familiar. His body relaxes slowly. The steady rhythm of work fades into the steady rhythm of breathing. Outside, the Nile continues to flow, unchanging, endless, quiet. And the night, just like the day, moves forward without hurry.
The night settles fully over the land. Darkness does not arrive all at once. It deepens slowly, like a quiet breath drawn out over time. The last traces of light fade gently from the sky, leaving behind a soft and endless black, touched only by the faint glow of distant stars. Inside the small home, the farmer rests. His breathing is steady now. The weight of the day has softened into stillness. Muscles that worked for many hours release their quiet tension. The warmth of the earth beneath him feels calm and familiar. Around him, the others sleep as well. There is a shared silence in the room, not empty, but full in a gentle way, full of quiet presence, full of the simple understanding that the day has ended and nothing more is needed. Outside, the village has grown still. The small sounds of evening have faded. No more footsteps moving between homes, no more low voices drifting through the air. Only the natural sounds remain. The Nile continues its slow movement. It does not stop for night, it does not pause. It flows in the same steady way, guided by a rhythm much older than any single life. The water brushes softly against its banks, creating a quiet and constant sound like a distant whisper. Reeds along the edge of the river sway lightly. A soft breeze moves through them, creating a gentle rustling. It is not loud, it does not disturb, it simply adds to the stillness. Somewhere in the darkness, an animal shifts. A small movement, a brief sound, then silence again. The stars above remain steady. They do not flicker sharply. They glow softly, spread across the sky in patterns that feel both distant and familiar. The farmer does not see them now, but they are there, just as they were the night before and the night before that. Time passes, slowly, without measure. And then, almost without notice, the darkness begins to change. A very faint light returns to the horizon. not enough to see clearly, just enough to feel. Morning is beginning again. Inside the home, the air has cooled further during the night. The walls hold a gentle chill now. The ground beneath feels firm and quiet. The farmer stirs, not suddenly, just a small movement at first, a shift of breath, a slow return to waking. His eyes open into the dim space. There is no clear light yet, only a soft gray that outlines the shapes within the room. The familiar forms of his home are there, unchanged. The same walls, the same objects, the same quiet presence of those around him. He remains still for a moment, listening again, just as he did the morning before. The faint sound of the river reaches him, the distant, steady movement of water. It is always there, always the same. He sits up slowly. The cycle begins again. There is no feeling of repetition in the way one might think of it. It is not something that becomes tiring in its sameness. Instead, it is comforting. The certainty of what the day will bring removes the need for worry. He rises, steps carefully, moves toward the entrance of his home. Outside, the sky is beginning to lighten. A pale blue spreads slowly upward. The stars fade once more, not disappearing all at once, but gently retreating as the light grows. The air is cool again, fresh, calm. He breathes it in. This moment, just before the full arrival of day, is always quiet in a special way. It holds a kind of stillness that belongs only to early morning. He walks again toward the Nile. The ground beneath his feet feels slightly damp from the cool night air. The path is familiar as always, guiding him without effort. When he reaches the river, he pauses. The surface reflects the soft light of the waking sky. The water moves gently, unchanged by the passing of night. He kneels. He cups a small amount of water in his hands, brings it to his face. The coolness is soft but clear. It wakes him fully, not with force, but with a gentle awareness. He remains there for a moment, looking at the water, feeling the quiet. Then he rises again. The day is ready to begin. He returns to his home, where the others are now beginning to wake as well. The same slow movements, the same quiet preparation. The fire is lit once more. A small flame grows, bringing warmth and a soft glow into the room. The morning meal is prepared in the same careful way. Simple food, shared calmly. Nothing changes, and yet everything continues. This is the nature of life here. The farmer finishes his meal, steps outside again. The sun is just beginning to rise. A thin line of gold appears at the horizon, slowly expanding, gently lifting the light across the land. The fields begin to show their form again. The river brightens. He takes his tool, feels its weight in his hand, and begins the walk back to the field. But today is not exactly the same as yesterday. There are small differences, subtle ones. The soil has changed slightly from the work already done. The water has moved differently through the channels overnight. The air holds a slightly different feel. These changes are not spoken about. They are simply noticed, understood without words. As he reaches the field, he sees the quiet result of time passing. The areas he worked before are ready for the next step, planting. He sets his tool down briefly and takes a small pouch. Inside are seeds, simple, small, and dry. Each one holds the possibility of growth. He kneels. The soil is soft beneath his hands. He begins to plant. Each seed is placed carefully, not thrown, not scattered without thought, but placed with quiet intention. A small hole, a seed, a covering of soil, then the next. and the next. The rhythm is different from before, but still slow, still steady. There is something almost peaceful in this act, a quiet trust. The farmer does not rush to see results. He does not expect immediate change. He knows that growth takes time, that the land will respond in its own way, in its own rhythm. He continues. The sun rises higher. The light strengthens. And once more, the simple pattern of life continues, flowing as gently and as steadily as the Nile itself. The morning light spreads wider across the land. It moves slowly over the fields, touching each small ridge of soil, each quiet line shaped by the farmer's hands. The seeds he has placed rest beneath the surface now, hidden from sight, but not forgotten. They are part of the earth already, settled into their place, waiting without urgency. The farmer continues his work. His movements remain calm, measured, and unhurried. Each small action follows naturally from the one before. There is no need to think too far ahead. The present moment is enough. Kneel, place, cover, rise, step forward, again and again. The rhythm is soft, almost like breathing. Nearby, others have begun the same task. Across the wide stretch of land, small figures bend and rise, each one working quietly within their own space. There is no need for direction. No voice calls out instructions. The knowledge of what to do lives within them, passed gently from one day to the next, from one season to another. The Nile continues its steady movement. From where the farmer works, he can see it in the distance. Its surface now shines more brightly under the growing sun. The water glides forward, reflecting light in small, shifting patterns. It does not rush, it does not pause, it simply continues. The irrigation channels carry that water into the fields. Narrow paths of damp soil guide it carefully. The water spreads slowly, soaking into the ground, reaching the seeds beneath. It moves quietly, disappearing into the earth without sound. The farmer notices this. He pauses, standing still for a moment, his hands resting at his sides. His eyes follow the thin line of water as it reaches the edge of the newly planted area. This is important, but still there is no hurry. He walks over to the channel, kneels again. With gentle hands, he adjusts the soil along its edge. A small ridge is pressed down, another is lifted slightly. The flow shifts just enough to guide the water more evenly. He watches for a moment. The water settles. Satisfied, he returns to his planting. The sun rises higher. The warmth grows stronger, but it is still early. The air holds a softness that will fade later, but for now it remains gentle. Birds move across the sky. Some glide slowly above the fields. Others land near the edges, stepping lightly across the ground. They search quietly, their movements small and careful. The farmer does not disturb them. They are part of this place too. Time continues its slow passage. The planted rows begin to stretch farther. The small pouch of seeds grows lighter in his hand. Each movement brings the day forward, though it never feels rushed. There is a deep calm in repetition. The same motion, again and again, becomes something steady, something grounding, something that requires no thought, only presence. As the morning moves closer to midday, the light becomes brighter. Shadows shorten. The air grows warmer. The farmer finishes another row and stands. He straightens his back slowly, feeling the quiet weight of the work.
It is not a sharp tiredness. It is a steady, familiar feeling, one that comes from hours of calm effort. He looks across the field. Much has been done. Not all, but enough for now. He walks toward the edge where a small shaded area waits. A simple structure made from reeds and wood offers a break from the sun. The shade it creates is soft and shifting, moving slightly with the breeze. He sits, places the pouch beside him, takes a slow breath. The air is warmer now, but the shade cools it gently. A faint breeze passes through, carrying the scent of damp soil and distant water. He drinks from a small container. The water is not cold, but it is refreshing. Each sip is taken slowly, carefully, without waste. Around him, others have also paused. Some sit quietly, just as he does. Some lie back for a moment, closing their eyes. A few continue working a little longer, finishing a small task before resting. There is no strict moment when work must stop. Each person listens to their own body, follows its quiet signals. The farmer closes his eyes briefly, not to sleep, but to rest in stillness. The sounds around him are soft, a distant bird call, the faint movement of water through the channels, the gentle whisper of wind across the fields. Nothing interrupts the calm. Nothing demands attention. After some time, he opens his eyes again. The sun has moved slightly. The light has shifted. He rises, takes the pouch once more, returns to the field. The second part of the day begins. The planting continues, but now at a slower pace. The heat encourages a gentler rhythm. Movements are spaced out. Breaths are deeper. Pauses are more frequent. Kneel, place, cover, rise. The same quiet pattern. The soil feels warmer now beneath his hands. The surface dries slightly under the sun, though beneath it still holds the moisture given by the river. He continues until the pouch is nearly empty. Only a few seeds remain. He plants them carefully, ensuring that nothing is wasted. When the last seed is placed, he closes the pouch, holds it for a moment, then sets it aside. This part of the work is complete. He stands and looks once more across the field. It appears unchanged at a glance, still earth, still quiet. But beneath the surface, something has begun, something slow, something patient, something that will take time. The farmer knows this. He does not wait to see it happen. He trusts it. He turns and begins to walk back toward the village. The sun has passed its highest point now. The afternoon has begun. The air feels heavier, but calmer. The path beneath his feet is warm. Each step carries him away from the field and toward a different kind of work, one that belongs to the quieter part of the day. As he walks, the village slowly comes into clearer view. The shapes of the homes, the soft movement of people, the thin lines of smoke rising again. Life continues there, just as it does in the fields. He reaches his home, steps inside. The coolness greets him once more. He places the empty pouch down, washes his hands again, slowly, letting the water move across his skin. Outside, the day continues its gentle shift. Nothing sudden, nothing sharp, only the steady passing of time. And soon, as always, the evening will come again, bringing with it the same quiet rest, the same soft ending, and the same promise of another calm day to follow.
The afternoon settles gently over the land. The light has changed again, becoming softer, warmer, almost golden as it spreads across the fields and the quiet village. The sharp brightness of midday has passed, leaving behind a calm glow that rests easily on the eyes. Inside the home, the farmer sits for a short while. The air is still cool compared to the outside. The thick walls hold back the heat, creating a place where the body can slowly release the effort of the morning. He does not lie down. He simply sits, allowing time to pass without doing anything at all. This, too, is part of the rhythm. Rest that is not forced, stillness that is not empty. After some time, he rises again. There are always small tasks waiting, even when the larger work in the fields has paused. These tasks are quieter, slower, but no less important. He steps outside once more. The village feels calm. A few people move about, but there is no urgency in their actions. Everything follows the same steady pace that has shaped the day from the beginning. Nearby, a simple area is set aside for tending animals. The farmer walks toward it. The ground here is slightly worn, marked by many small footprints. The air carries a faint, earthy scent. It is not unpleasant, it is familiar. A few animals stand quietly in the shade. They shift slowly as he approaches. Not startled, not restless. They know his presence. They have seen him many times before, just as he has seen them. He moves among them with care. There is no sudden movement, no loud sound. His hands reach out gently, checking, adjusting, making sure everything is as it should be. He brings water, not much, only what is needed. Each animal drinks slowly, just as he did earlier in the day. There is no rush here either. The same patience exists in every part of life. He watches them for a moment. Their quiet presence adds to the stillness of the afternoon. Then he turns away. There is more to do. He walks toward a small open space near his home where tools and materials are kept. A woven mat lies on the ground. A few simple items rest nearby. Bundles of dried reeds, pieces of rope, small tools used for repair. These are the kinds of things that are used again and again, slowly wearing down, slowly needing attention. He sits on the mat, takes one of the items in his hands, perhaps a basket that has begun to loosen at its edges. He begins to repair it. The movements are small and careful, weaving the reeds back into place, pulling them tight but not too tight, adjusting each part so that it fits again as it once did. This work is even quieter than the work of the fields. There is almost no sound at all, just the faint brushing of dry reeds against each other. The farmer's focus remains steady. His hands move with memory. He does not need to think about each step. He simply follows the pattern. Time continues to pass. The sun lowers further. The shadows grow longer, stretching across the ground in soft lines. A gentle breeze moves through the village again, bringing a slight coolness with it. It passes over the farmer as he works, lifting the edge of the mat slightly, then letting it fall back into place. He finishes the repair, holds the basket for a moment, feels its shape, its strength. Satisfied, he sets it aside. Nothing is thrown away. Everything is used, repaired, and used again. He remains seated for a short while longer, not working now, just resting. The sounds of the village drift softly around him. A distant voice, the quiet movement of someone walking past, the faint clink of clay against clay as objects are set down or lifted again. None of it disturbs the calm. Eventually, he rises again. The day is moving toward its end, but not yet finished. He walks slowly toward the edge of the village. From here, the fields can be seen once more. They look different now. The light touches them at a lower angle, creating soft patterns of shadow and brightness. The lines in the soil appear deeper, the shapes more defined. He stands for a moment, looking. There is a quiet sense of connection in this moment. The work done earlier, the seeds now resting beneath the soil, the water moving unseen below the surface. All of it continues even while he stands still. He does not need to return to the field now. That part of the day is past. Instead, he turns back toward his home. The evening begins to form. The air cools slowly. The light softens further. Inside, preparations for the evening meal begin again. The same careful process, the same simple ingredients. Grain ground slowly, water added, hands moving in steady, practiced motions. The farmer joins in quietly. There is no clear division of tasks, only shared work, shared rhythm. The fire is lit once more. A small flame grows, casting a soft glow against the walls. The light flickers gently, moving in quiet patterns that shift and settle. The meal is prepared, then shared. They sit together again, just as they did the night before. The same calm presence, the same quiet understanding. No one rushes, no one speaks loudly. The act of eating is slow, steady, and complete in itself. Outside, the sky begins to change once more. The golden light fades into softer tones. The first hints of evening color appear. The farmer finishes his meal. He steps outside again. The air feels different now, cooler, softer. The day is letting go. He walks a short distance and sits once more, facing the open land. The fields are quiet. The river continues its endless flow. The village rests in a calm, gentle stillness. Above, the sky deepens. The colors fade into blue, then darker still. One by one, the stars begin to return, small points of light, steady and distant. The farmer watches them, not with thought, not with questions, just with quiet presence. Time slows even more in this moment, or perhaps it just feels that way. The body, no longer working, begins to settle fully. The mind grows quiet. The breath becomes soft and even. After some time, he rises again, returns to his home. Inside, the space is dim now. The fire has lowered to a gentle glow. He lies down once more. The same place, the same familiar ground. His body relaxes. The day is complete. Outside, the Nile flows on, unchanged, unending. The night deepens again, and slowly, gently, without any need to notice, the world moves toward rest once more.
The night stretches on in quiet stillness. Nothing rushes through these hours. The darkness feels soft, like a gentle covering over the land. The air cools a little more, settling into a calm that holds everything in place. Inside the home, the farmer sleeps. His breathing is slow and even. The steady rhythm of the day has carried into the rhythm of rest. There are no sudden movements, no interruptions, only the quiet rise and fall of breath, blending into the stillness around him. Outside, the village remains silent. The paths between the homes are empty now. The tools rest where they were placed. The small signs of the day's work remain, but they are quiet, waiting for the light to return. The Nile continues its gentle movement. Even in the deepest part of the night, it flows without change. The surface reflects the faint light of the stars. Small ripples form and fade, always moving, always steady. The reeds at the river's edge sway slightly. A soft breeze passes through them from time to time. It does not last long. It comes and goes quietly, leaving no mark. Far away, the faint sound of an animal may rise for a moment, then fade again.
Everything returns to silence. Time passes slowly. There is no clear moment when night begins to end, only a gradual shift. A soft, almost unnoticeable light begins to form once more along the horizon. Morning is returning. Inside the home, the air has grown cool again. The walls hold the memory of the night, just as they held the warmth of the day before. The farmer begins to stir, a small movement, a slow breath. His eyes open. The room is dim, but not completely dark. The shapes around him begin to take form again, just as they did the morning before. He remains still for a moment, listening, feeling. The same quiet sounds return, the distant flow of water, the faint movement of air. Nothing has changed, and yet a new day has begun. He rises slowly, steps carefully across the firm earth floor, moves toward the entrance. Outside, the sky is pale again. A soft gray-blue spreads upward, slowly pushing away the last of the night. The stars fade gently, leaving the sky open and calm. The air is cool, fresh, easy to breathe. He steps out into it, stands for a moment. There is always a brief pause at the beginning of the day, a quiet space between rest and work, a moment where nothing is required yet. Then, slowly, the rhythm begins again. He walks toward the Nile. The path feels the same beneath his feet, slightly cool, slightly firm, shaped by many steps over many days. When he reaches the water, he kneels again, cups it in his hands, lifts it gently. The coolness touches his face, awakening him fully. He lets the remaining drops fall back into the river. They disappear without a sound. He remains there for a moment longer, looking at the surface, watching the slow movement. Then he rises, returns to the village. Inside his home, the others begin to wake as well. The same quiet routine unfolds. The fire is prepared. A small flame begins. The light grows slowly, filling the space with a soft glow. Food is prepared again, simple, careful, shared. They eat together in silence, each movement calm, each moment steady. When the meal is finished, the farmer steps outside once more. The sun is beginning to rise. A soft line of light appears at the horizon, spreading gently across the land. The fields begin to glow faintly. The river reflects the growing brightness. He takes his tool, feels its familiar weight, and begins to walk. The path leads him back to the field, but today the work will be slightly different. The seeds have been planted. Now attention must turn to the care of the land itself. As he reaches the field, he looks across the surface. It appears quiet, still, but he knows what lies beneath. He walks along the edge of the irrigation channels. The water flows slowly, guided by the shapes formed in the soil. Some areas hold more moisture than others. Some have begun to dry slightly under the previous day's sun. He kneels again, begins to adjust the flow. This work is careful, precise. He opens one small path, closes another, presses the soil gently to guide the water where it is needed most. There is no rush. Each adjustment is small. Each change is observed. He watches how the water responds, how it moves, how it settles. Then he moves on. This continues for some time, walking, kneeling, shaping, watching. The rhythm is different from planting, but just as calm, just as steady. Nearby, other farmers do the same, each one tending to their own section, each one following the quiet understanding of the land. The sun rises higher, the light grows stronger, the air begins to warm, but still the work continues without hurry. The farmer pauses occasionally, stands, looks across the field, then continues again. After some time, he moves to another task. At the edge of the field, small weeds have begun to appear, tiny growths, easy to miss if not looked for. He kneels, begins to remove them, one by one, gently pulling them from the soil, careful not to disturb the seeds below. This work is slow, even slower than before, but it is important. Each small action helps protect what has been planted. The sun continues its quiet climb. Time moves forward. The day unfolds again in the same calm, steady way. Nothing sudden, nothing loud, only the quiet continuation of life, one small movement at a time.
The morning grows fuller, though it never feels crowded. Light settles gently across the fields, filling every small space between the ridges of soil. The farmer remains close to the ground, his movements slow and careful as he continues to tend the young field. He reaches forward again. His fingers press softly into the earth. A small weed comes free. He places it aside. Then another. Each one removed without force, without haste. The soil is warm now on the surface, but just beneath, it still holds a quiet coolness. That hidden moisture remains from the river's careful gift. It is enough to sustain what has been planted, enough to keep the unseen growth moving forward. The farmer pauses for a moment. He rests back slightly, sitting on his heels. His hands are still. His breathing is steady. He looks across the field. At first, nothing appears to have changed. The surface looks much the same as it did before. Lines of soil, gently shaped. No visible signs of growth yet. No green rising above the earth. But he does not need to see it. He knows it is happening. Slowly, quietly, beneath the surface. He leans forward again, returns to his work. The same careful pattern continues. Reach, loosen, lift, place aside. Again and again. The sun continues its slow climb. The light brightens, but it remains soft in feeling. The air warms, but it does not press heavily yet. A faint breeze passes now and then, moving lightly across the open land. In the distance, the Nile glimmers. It reflects the sky in long, shifting lines. The movement of the water is constant, never hurried, never still. The irrigation channels nearby carry that same steady motion. Water slips quietly along their narrow paths, soaking into the soil where it is needed. It disappears without sound, becoming part of the land itself. The farmer stands, slowly. He stretches his back just slightly, feeling the gentle pull of muscles that have been working for some time now. He walks along the edge of the field. His steps are unhurried. He looks down at the soil as he moves, noticing the small differences, a place where the ground is slightly drier, another where the water has gathered more deeply. He kneels again, adjusts a small section of the channel, just a little. The water responds. It shifts its path, moves into the space that needed it. He watches for a moment, then rises once more. There is a quiet satisfaction in these small adjustments. Nothing dramatic, nothing sudden, just a gentle sense that things are as they should be. As the morning continues, the other farmers nearby move in similar ways. Some still tend their soil,
Some walk along the channels. Some pause in the shade, resting for a moment. There is no clear boundary between work and rest, only a flow, a steady movement between effort and stillness. The farmer returns to the center of his field. He walks slowly across the rows he planted earlier. Each step is careful. He does not want to disturb what lies beneath. He stops at a certain place, kneels, touches the soil lightly. There is no visible change yet, but the earth feels slightly different, a subtle softness, a faint sign that something within is shifting. He remains there for a moment, then rises again. The sun reaches higher. The air begins to feel warmer. The quiet signal of midday approaches. His body knows the rhythm of the day has become part of him. He walks toward the shaded area once more. The simple structure stands as it did before, offering a place of gentle rest. He sits, places his hands loosely on his knees, closes his eyes for a moment. The warmth of the day settles around him. The breeze moves softly across his skin. The sounds of the land continue in their quiet way. A distant bird, the faint movement of water, the soft shifting of others nearby. Nothing interrupts, nothing demands attention. Time slows again, or perhaps it simply feels that way. After a while, he opens his eyes. The light has shifted slightly. The sun now stands high above. The shadows are short. The air holds a deeper warmth. He reaches for his water, drinks slowly, each sip measured, each moment calm. This pause is not long, but it is enough. He rises again, returns to the field. The second half of the day begins, just as gently as the first. The work is lighter now. There is no more planting to be done, only tending, only watching, only guiding. He walks along the edges, checks the channels again, removes a few more small weeds, smooths the soil where needed. Each task is small, but together they form the quiet structure of the day. The sun begins very slowly to move past its highest point. The light softens, almost too gently to notice at first. The air begins its gradual shift toward coolness. The farmer continues, never rushing, never stopping too suddenly, only moving forward, one step at a time. And as the afternoon begins to form once more, the land remains calm, the river continues its endless flow, and the quiet work of the farmer carries on, steady and unbroken, just as it has for countless days before.
The afternoon drifts forward with quiet persistence. The sun moves slowly across the sky, its warmth steady but softening, spreading golden light over the fields. Shadows stretch longer, stretching across the soil in gentle, lazy lines. The air is thick now with heat, yet it feels calm rather than oppressive. Each breath the farmer takes is steady, even, blending into the soft rhythm of the day. He continues through the rows of his field. His hands hover just above the soil, sensing small differences in moisture, the subtle shifts that show where water is needed most. The seeds he planted are beneath the surface, invisible, yet he feels their presence, a quiet promise of life forming slowly beneath his careful attention. He kneels again, adjusting a narrow channel, moving a tiny mound of earth here, smoothing another there. His movements are deliberate. Each small adjustment matters, though it is almost imperceptible to anyone watching. The Nile flows steadily in the distance. Its surface reflects the changing light, now warmer, almost soft amber. The movement is quiet,
constant. It carries the memory of countless days, of countless farmers, all moving to its rhythm. He steps back. He looks across the field. The lines of soil are smooth. The channels carry water as they should. Tiny shoots may not yet be visible, but he knows they are there. Slowly they push against the earth, forming the future with quiet persistence. A faint breeze brushes past. It moves lightly across his shoulders, lifting the edge of his tunic, brushing the fine dust from the soil. The sound is soft, a gentle whisper against the warm air. He notices it, but does not pause long. There is work to do, steady and small. He moves toward the edges of the field. Here the soil is slightly drier. A few weeds have begun to sprout. He kneels. His hands press into the earth. Each weed is removed carefully. The soil is shaped gently around the young seeds beneath. The sun continues its quiet journey. Its light now seems more golden, more mellow. The warmth touches the earth, the river, the reeds swaying along its banks, and even the small figures of other farmers working nearby. No one rushes. Everyone moves with patience, following the subtle guidance of the land and the rhythm of the day. He pauses once more, sitting on his heels, his hands resting lightly on his knees. He watches the water move through the irrigation channels. It glides quietly, finding its way to the soil that needs it most. The sound is soft and steady, blending with the distant rustle of reeds, the occasional call of a bird, and the faint movement of the village in the distance. A small, quiet satisfaction forms within him. Not pride, not excitement, simply the calm knowledge that the work is being done, that life continues, that everything is moving forward as it should. He arises. The next task is simple. A small section of field needs smoothing. He moves along the rows, lightly pressing the soil, shaping it so that water can flow evenly, so that the seeds beneath have space to grow without obstruction. Each movement is slow, careful, and steady. Time continues its gentle flow. The sun climbs slightly higher, then begins its slow descent. The air holds more warmth now, but it is softened by occasional gentle breezes. The faint sound of animals from the village carries across the field. The work continues quietly but steadily, uninterrupted, unhurried. He walks toward the small patch where a few tools rest. There is nothing new to be done with them yet, only small adjustments, minor maintenance. He picks up a wooden hoe, its surface smooth from years of handling. The tool feels familiar, comfortable in his hands. He examines it, adjusting the handle slightly, checking its balance. Then he sets it down again. The weight of work shifts back to the field, to the soil, to the water. He moves along the channels again, ensuring the irrigation is flowing evenly. He lifts a small ridge, presses another down. The water responds silently, sliding into the soil, becoming part of the earth itself. The afternoon moves forward without urgency. The colors of the landscape begin to shift gently. Shadows deepen. The golden light becomes warmer, softer. The reeds along the river sway faintly. Birds move low across the water, returning to resting places for the evening. The farmer steps back. He surveys the work of the day. The field appears unchanged to a casual eye. The rows are smooth, the channels clear. But beneath the surface, beneath the quiet soil, life stirs. Seeds push slowly upward. Water nourishes them. The gentle rhythm of care continues. He walks slowly back toward his home. The path beneath his feet is firm. Dust rises faintly with each step, then settles again. The air is cooler here, softened by the shade of walls and small huts. Inside, the family waits quietly. They gather together, share a simple meal. The fire casts a warm, gentle glow. Each movement is calm, deliberate. Each sound is soft, rhythmic. The faint clink of clay, the whisper of breath, the quiet settling of bodies. Outside, the Nile reflects the fading light of afternoon. The river moves onward, unhurried, constant, endless. The sun lowers further. Shadows grow long. The heat of the day slowly recedes. The village begins to settle into quiet anticipation of evening. The farmer steps outside once more. He sits near the edge of the field. The air is cooler now, carrying a gentle scent of water and earth. The reeds sway lightly. The birds have mostly gone silent. The sun's golden light spreads over the land like a soft blanket. He breathes slowly, in and out. The rhythm of the land, the river, the field, and his own body merges. Time feels slow, unbroken, endless. And as the light continues to fade, he watches the gentle movement of water, the soft shadows of the earth, the quiet forms of the village settling for the night. He arises finally, walks back into the home, lies down upon the firm ground. The weight of the day releases. The river flows on. The stars begin to appear. The village is quiet. The land rests. And the farmer sleeps once more, as time continues its gentle, endless rhythm. If you want, I can continue immediately into the evening to night cycles and next morning with even more detail, covering small repeated tasks, subtle changes in light, sounds, tools, and nature, building long, calm passages that extend the script naturally towards hundreds of thousands of words. Do you want me to continue that way?
The night deepens slowly. Darkness spreads across the fields, stretching over the Nile, the village, and the distant horizon. It is not sudden or harsh. It moves quietly, softly, folding the land into stillness. The farmer sleeps. His body rests completely now. The labor of the day has softened into calm. Muscles relax. Breathing slows. Even his thoughts have quieted, becoming gentle whispers rather than voices demanding attention. Outside, the village is almost completely still. A few small movements can be heard. The faint shuffle of an animal returning to rest, the soft whisper of a breeze passing through reeds, the quiet movement of water along the irrigation channels. These sounds are not intrusive. They are part of the calm, part of the rhythm of life. The river flows on. Even in the deepest night, it does not stop. Its movement is constant, soft and smooth. Tiny ripples catch what little light remains from the moon or stars. The sound is distant, quiet, but it fills the air with a steady presence, a reminder that life continues even when nothing else moves. Time stretches slowly. The stars appear one by one, small, distant, unwavering points of light in the dark sky. They do not flicker sharply. They do not demand attention. They exist quietly, holding their place above the land. The night passes. Slowly, imperceptibly, the darkness begins to soften.
A faint glow appears along the horizon. Morning begins again. The farmer stirs, a small shift of body, a gentle stretch, a breath drawn quietly. The earth beneath him is firm and familiar. The room around him is dim but safe. The walls hold the cool of night. He rises, steps slowly to the entrance. Outside, the air is crisp. A gentle breeze brushes over the fields. The Nile glimmers faintly in the soft light of early morning. Everything is still. Everything is calm. The farmer breathes in the cool air. The quiet of this moment is complete. He walks toward the river. The path is firm beneath his feet. Each step is slow, measured, deliberate. Dust rises faintly, settles again. He reaches the water, kneels, cups it in his hands, brings it to his face. The cool touch awakens him fully, yet gently. It reminds him that the day has begun, that life continues, that his work, small and steady, is part of something larger. He stands, watches the Nile for a few moments longer. The water flows without pause, without urgency. Its rhythm is constant, unbroken. Then he walks back toward the village. Inside, his family is beginning to wake. The fire is lit again. The simple preparations for morning meal begin. Grain is measured, water is added, bread or porridge formed. Each movement is calm, deliberate. Each sound is soft. The clink of clay, the faint stirring of food, the gentle movement of hands. They eat together quietly. No words are needed. The act itself, shared, is enough. After the meal, the farmer steps outside. The sun is just beginning to rise. Its light spreads softly across the fields. A warm glow touches the soil. Shadows are long and gentle. The river shines, reflecting the colors of the morning sky. He takes his tools. His hands feel the familiar weight. He walks slowly to the field. Today, the work is a continuation. The seeds planted yesterday now require only care. The soil must be smoothed, small weeds removed, the irrigation channels checked, water guided, everything done with patience. He kneels, touches the soil, feels the subtle shifts in moisture, adjusts a small ridge, moves a tiny mound here, presses another down. The water responds, slipping quietly into the earth. The seeds beneath are nourished without sound, without haste. The rhythm is steady. The farmer moves along the rows, hands pressing lightly into the soil, kneeling, standing, walking, observing, adjusting. The sun rises higher. Light spreads further. Shadows shift. The air warms, but not too much. The breeze drifts across the field, brushing against the farmer, lifting faint dust from the ground. Other farmers move nearby, some tending channels, some smoothing soil, some resting briefly in the shade. All follow the same slow, steady rhythm. There is no rush, there is no loudness, only quiet, deliberate effort. Time passes in this gentle way. The sun climbs, the air warms, the field slowly takes shape under careful hands. By mid-morning, the work is steady but not frantic. The farmer pauses for a short rest, sits on his heels in the shade of a small tree, breathes in slowly. The faint sound of the river reaches him. The reeds sway lightly in the breeze. Birds call softly in the distance. The air is warm, steady, calm. He rises, walks again to the rows, touches the soil lightly, checks the channels, removes a few weeds, smooths a small section, observes the water's movement, adjusts subtly. All of this happens slowly, deliberately, calmly. The river continues its constant flow beside him. The day unfolds quietly. The rhythm of hands, feet, eyes, earth, and water continues without interruption. And as the sun moves steadily across the sky, the farmer's movements, the river's flow, the soft light of the day, and the gentle sounds of the land all blend into a single, continuous, peaceful passage of time. The afternoon begins to settle slowly over the land. The sun is past its highest point now. Its warmth is steady but softened, spreading a gentle glow over the fields. Shadows stretch longer, reaching across the soil in slow, calm patterns. The air feels heavy with heat, yet it is not oppressive. Instead, it carries a quiet stillness, inviting gentle movement and soft reflection. The farmer returns to the center of his field. His hands touch the soil lightly, feeling the subtle differences in moisture. The seeds planted earlier now rest beneath the earth, hidden from view, yet he senses the small life forming within. Each seed, quiet and still for now, is part of the rhythm of time. Slowly it will push upward, reaching toward the warmth of the sun. He walks along the edges of the field. The irrigation channels glint in the sunlight. Water moves steadily, slipping into the soil, unseen but essential. The farmer kneels at one point, adjusting the channel carefully. He lifts a small ridge here, presses another down there. The flow responds silently, moving as he intends, nourishing the seeds below. Every action is deliberate, every movement calm. There is no hurry. Nearby, other farmers move in similar patterns. Some kneel in the soil, tending small plants. Some adjust water channels. Some pause in the shade, resting briefly before returning to work. There is no rush in the village, no loud commands or urgency. Everything follows a slow, steady rhythm, like the gentle pulse of the river itself. The breeze moves through the fields. It is soft and warm, brushing against the farmer's skin. The faint rustle of reeds along the riverbank accompanies it, mixing with the distant calls of birds and the quiet movement of other people. Each sound is subtle, soothing, blending into the calm of the afternoon. He pauses for a moment, sits on his heels, breathes slowly, deliberately. The heat touches him, but it is not overwhelming. It is a gentle reminder of the time passing, of the day unfolding, of the sun slowly moving toward the horizon. Then he rises again, continues his work. A few weeds have grown near the edge of the field. He kneels and removes them carefully. The soil feels warm beneath his hands, soft where water has seeped in, slightly firm where it has begun to dry. Each small adjustment matters. Each action contributes to the larger rhythm of life in this place. Time passes gently. The sun begins to dip lower, painting the land with a warmer, softer light. Shadows lengthen, stretching across the fields like quiet fingers. The air cools slightly, bringing relief from the steady heat of midday. The farmer checks the irrigation channels again. Water moves steadily, quietly nourishing the soil. Small adjustments here and there ensure that each section of the field receives what it needs. The flow is smooth, controlled, yet natural, responding to the land itself. He steps back and surveys the field. The work of the day is visible now in subtle ways. The soil is shaped, channels aligned, weeds removed. Beneath the surface, life stirs slowly. Each planted seed rests in the earth, supported by water, light, and care. He
He walks slowly back toward the village. The air is cooler now, carrying a gentle scent of water and earth. Birds move quietly across the sky. The reeds sway lightly in the soft breeze. Everything carries the calm of late afternoon, the gentle easing of the day toward evening. Inside the home, the family prepares for the evening meal. The fire is lit. Simple ingredients are combined with care. Grain, water, perhaps vegetables from a nearby plot. Each movement deliberate, slow, and unhurried. The meal is shared quietly. The act itself, the rhythm of eating together, carries its own calm satisfaction. After the meal, the farmer steps outside once more. The sun lowers further, casting golden light over the fields. Shadows stretch long across the land. The river reflects the soft glow, rippling gently as it continues its endless flow. He sits near the edge of the field, breathes slowly. The rhythm of the day, of the land, of his own body, merges into a quiet harmony. Time feels suspended, yet it moves forward steadily. He watches the river, the fields, the village settling into evening. The stars begin to appear, small points of light in the deepening sky. The farmer rises finally, returns to his home, lies down. The day releases its weight. The land, the river, the village, the stars, all continue in gentle, unbroken rhythm. He sleeps. The Nile flows. The night deepens, and the quiet world rests once more. I can continue with the next several days and weeks of life, describing small repeated tasks, changes in weather, growth of crops, and the subtle, soothing rhythms of the farmer's life in even more detail, keeping the narrative slow and relaxing. Do you want me to continue that way?
The night stretches quietly over the village and the fields. The darkness is soft, not pressing, but like a gentle blanket draped over the land. The air cools as the hours pass. The reeds along the river sway faintly in the breeze. Water flows steadily, as it always does, carrying its quiet rhythm through the night. The farmer sleeps deeply. His breathing is slow, even, the steady rise and fall of his chest blending into the stillness of the home. Outside, the faint sounds of the village are few, a distant animal stirring, the occasional soft rustle of leaves, the gentle movement of water along the channels. Each sound is calm, muted, and unhurried. Time passes slowly. The stars appear in their familiar patterns above the dark land. They glimmer softly, steady and distant, unchanging yet constant companions to the quiet earth below. The night gradually softens along the horizon. A faint glow begins to appear. Morning is approaching once more. The farmer stirs. A small movement, a quiet stretch, a gentle breath. He rises slowly. His body remembers the rhythm of the day, the work ahead. There is no rush, only a calm acknowledgement that the cycle of life continues. Outside, the air is cool, soft, gentle. He walks slowly toward the Nile. The path beneath his feet is firm and familiar. Each step is deliberate. Dust rises faintly, then settles again. The river reflects the first hints of light, flowing endlessly, quietly, steadily. He kneels at the edge, cups the water, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him gently, reminding him of the rhythm of the day. The river continues to flow, carrying water to the land, carrying life along its quiet path. He stands, looks along the water for a moment. The reeds sway softly.
The distant fields are still, calm, quiet. The village has yet to awaken fully. Then he walks back toward the village. Inside, the home is dim. The walls hold the cool of night. The fire is not yet lit. His family begins to stir, slowly, softly. The air is filled with the gentle sounds of waking. The morning meal is prepared carefully. Grain, water, perhaps a little oil, simple and steady in its preparation. Each movement slow, deliberate, and calm. They eat together quietly. No words are necessary. The act of sharing, of sustaining life, carries its own quiet rhythm. Each bite, each sip, taken with care, slowly, deliberately. Afterward, the farmer steps outside. The light spreads gently across the fields. The sun rises slowly, touching the soil, the water, the reeds, and the distant village. The air holds a calm warmth, soft against his skin. He picks up his tools, feels the weight in his hands, the familiar touch of wood, the smooth surface worn by repeated use. He walks toward the fields. The seeds planted yesterday rest beneath the soil. Today, the work is tending, adjusting, observing. The irrigation channels are checked. Water flows steadily, nourishes the earth. Small weeds are removed carefully. The soil is smoothed where necessary. Each action slow, deliberate, calm. The sun climbs higher. Shadows shorten, then lengthen again as the light shifts. The air grows warmer, but the breeze moves softly, carrying the scent of water and earth. The river continues its steady flow beside the fields. Its sound is constant, gentle, unbroken. The farmer kneels in the soil, touches it lightly, feeling moisture beneath the surface. He adjusts a small ridge, moves a mound of earth slightly, observes the water's flow. The movement is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet necessary. Nearby, other farmers work in similar ways. Some tend their own soil, some adjust channels, some pause in the shade. All move at the same calm pace, following the rhythm of the land and the day. Time passes gently. The afternoon moves closer. The sun begins to soften. Its light warms the soil and the air, but with a quiet golden glow rather than heat that presses. The farmer continues his work steadily, removing small weeds, adjusting channels, smoothing the soil. The river flows beside him, as steady and constant as always. Eventually, he steps back, surveys the field. The work of the day is subtle, almost invisible, yet it matters. Beneath the surface, seeds rest in the soil. Water nourishes them. Life moves quietly, slowly, patiently. He walks slowly back toward the village. The air is cooler now. The day moves toward evening. Birds are quieting, returning to hidden spaces. The reeds sway lightly in the gentle breeze. The village begins to settle into calm rhythms. Inside, the family prepares the evening meal. The fire is lit, casting a soft glow. Ingredients are combined slowly, deliberately. Grain, water, perhaps vegetables or small portions of fish. Each action quiet, measured, unhurried. They eat together quietly. No words are necessary. The act of sharing, of sustaining life, carries its own quiet rhythm. Each bite, each sip, taken with care, slowly, deliberately. Afterward, the farmer steps outside once more. The light dips lower. Shadows lengthen across the fields. The river reflects the gentle colors of the approaching evening. The air carries the subtle warmth of the day, softened by the cool brush of the river breeze. He sits at the edge of the field, breathes slowly, watches the river, the reeds, the village, the distant horizon where light fades. Time feels unbroken, steady, calm. Eventually he rises, walks back into the home, lies down. The day releases its weight. The land, the river, the fields, and the village rest. The stars appear quietly above. The Nile continues its endless flow, and the farmer sleeps as night enfolds the world once more.
The night stretches on, deep and quiet, over the village, the fields, and the river. The darkness is soft, like a heavy cloth draped over the earth. The air is cool, carrying a gentle scent of water and soil. The reeds sway slightly along the riverbank, brushing against one another in faint whispers. The Nile moves steadily, silently, a slow and constant pulse beneath the stars. The farmer sleeps. His body is still. His breathing is even and calm, a steady rhythm that blends with the soft sounds of the night. Outside, the village rests. Occasionally, a distant animal stirs. The soft rustle of a reed passes in the breeze, or a small ripple moves across the water. These sounds do not break the calm. They belong to it, as the land itself rests and breathes. Time drifts slowly. Stars shine steadily above, distant and quiet, points of light that do not rush, do not fade suddenly, holding their place above the sleeping world. The faint glow of dawn begins along the horizon. Morning is coming. The farmer stirs, a small shift of body, a gentle stretch, a quiet breath. His eyes open slowly, taking in the dim light of the early day. The familiar room feels cool and safe. The walls hold the memory of night and the promise of day. He rises, steps carefully toward the entrance. Outside, the air is fresh and soft. The first light spreads gently over the fields, touching the soil, the river, the reeds, and the small shapes of the village. Everything is still. Everything is calm. He walks slowly to the Nile. The path beneath his feet is firm and familiar. Dust rises faintly, then settles. The water moves quietly, reflecting the faint light. Its rhythm is constant, unbroken, reassuring. He kneels, cups the water, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him softly, a reminder that the day has begun, that work awaits, that life continues. He rises, walks back to the village. Inside, the household begins to stir. The fire is lit, grain is measured, water added, food prepared with calm care. Each movement slow, deliberate, unhurried. The meal is shared quietly, each bite and sip taken with attention and patience. The morning meal finished, the farmer steps outside. The sun has risen further. Soft light spreads across the fields. The river glimmers gently. The air is warm, still calm, still easy to breathe. He takes up his tools. The wood of the handles is familiar beneath his hands. The edges are smoothed from repeated use. Each tool fits naturally with the motions he has practiced for years. He walks toward the field. The seeds planted in previous days rest beneath the soil. Today's work is tending, checking the channels, adjusting the flow of water, removing small weeds,
smoothing the soil. Each movement measured, slow, precise. The irrigation channels reflect the morning light. Water moves quietly, slipping into the soil to nourish what is unseen. He kneels, adjusts a ridge here, smooths a mound there. The water responds silently, moving where it is needed most. Nearby, other farmers work similarly. Some kneel in their soil, some adjust channels, some rest briefly in the shade. All move at the same gentle, patient pace. Time passes quietly. The sun climbs higher. The air grows warmer. Shadows shift and lengthen, then shorten again as the light changes. The river moves steadily, softly, constantly beside the fields. The farmer kneels again, touches the soil lightly, removes a few weeds, smooths the surface, observes the movement of water, adjusts where necessary. Everything is deliberate, calm, patient. He stands, surveys the field. The work is subtle but present. Beneath the soil, life is forming. Seeds nourish water. The sun warms the earth. Each small act supports the quiet rhythm of growth. He walks back toward the village. The air is cooler now, carrying a soft scent of water and earth. Birds move quietly overhead. The reeds sway gently. The village begins to settle toward evening, moving slowly into calm. Inside, the household prepares for the evening meal. The fire glows softly. Ingredients are combined deliberately. Grain, water, vegetables or small portions of fish. Each action quiet, measured, unhurried. The meal is shared in silence, steady and calm. Afterward, the farmer steps outside again. The sun lowers, shadows lengthen across the fields. The river reflects the warm colors of approaching evening. The breeze is soft, carrying the last warmth of the day. He sits at the edge of the field, breathes slowly, watches the river, the reeds, the village, the horizon where light fades. Time feels suspended, steady, calm. Eventually, he rises, walks back into the home, lies down. The day releases its weight. The land rests. The river continues its endless flow, and the farmer sleeps once more as night enfolds the world quietly. If you like, I can continue now into a multi-week cycle, exploring the slow, subtle changes of the fields over time, growth of crops, slight shifts in weather, seasonal birds, and repeated daily routines, creating extended passages that will build naturally toward the full 160,000 to 180,000 word script. Do you want me to continue in that way?
The night deepens gently over the village once again. The darkness is soft, almost velvety, stretching over the fields, the river, the reeds, and the distant homes. The air is cool now, holding the faint scent of water and soil. The reeds sway slowly along the riverbank, brushing against one another in quiet whispers. The Nile moves steadily, silently, a constant presence beneath the stars, carrying life without hurry or interruption. The farmer sleeps. His body rests fully, muscles loosened from the labor of the day. His breathing is even and calm, blending seamlessly into the soft sounds of night. Outside, the village is still. Occasionally, the faint shuffle of an animal, a soft rustle of leaves,
or the subtle ripple of water passes through the air. These sounds are gentle reminders that life continues, quietly and steadily, even while most of the world rests. Time passes slowly. Stars fill the sky, small points of light that shine steadily, distant and calm, unchanging in the still night. A faint glow begins to appear along the horizon. Morning approaches softly. The farmer stirs, a gentle stretch, a quiet breath. His eyes open slowly to the dim light of early day. The walls of his home hold the cool of night, providing a safe, familiar space. He rises, steps slowly toward the entrance. Outside, the air is soft and fresh. The horizon glows faintly. Light spreads gently across the fields, touching the soil, the river, and the reeds swaying at its edges. Everything is still. Everything is calm. He walks toward the Nile. The path beneath his feet is firm and familiar. Dust rises faintly with each step, settling again. The water moves quietly, reflecting the first soft colors of morning. Its rhythm is constant, unbroken, a steady companion to the slow unfolding of the day. He kneels at the edge, cups the water, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him gently, reminding him that the day is beginning, that work waits, and that life continues its quiet rhythm. He stands, looks along the water. The reeds sway softly. The distant fields remain calm. The village is beginning to stir slowly. Then he walks back toward his home. Inside, the household awakens gradually. The fire is lit. Grain is measured. Water added. Food is prepared with deliberate care. Each movement slow, calm, and unhurried. The morning meal is shared quietly. Each bite and sip is taken with attention, each motion gentle and unhurried. Afterwards, the farmer steps outside. The sun spreads soft light across the fields. The river glimmers. The air is warm, yet gentle against the skin. He lifts his tools. Familiar wood and worn handles fit naturally in his hands. Each tool is a companion to the work of the day, shaped by repetition and care. He walks slowly toward the field. The seeds planted in previous days rest beneath the soil. Today's work is tending, checking irrigation channels, removing small weeds, smoothing the soil, observing subtle signs of growth. Each movement deliberate, precise, calm. Water moves quietly through the channels, slipping into the soil to nourish what is unseen. He kneels, adjusts a small ridge, smooths a mound, observes how the water moves. Each subtle shift has its effect. Nearby, other farmers work in harmony with the land. Some kneel in the soil, some adjust channels, some rest briefly in the shade. All move with patience, following the steady rhythm of life here, shaped by the river, the soil, the sun. The sun climbs slowly. Shadows shift and lengthen, then soften again. The air grows warmer. The river flows steadily, quietly beside the fields, a constant and calming presence. He kneels once more, touches the soil lightly, removes a few weeds, smooths the surface, adjusts the water flow. Everything is careful, slow, and deliberate. He stands, surveys the field. The work is subtle but significant. Beneath the soil, life is moving. Seeds are forming roots. Water nourishes them. Sun warms them. Each small action contributes to growth and the quiet rhythm of life. He walks slowly back toward the village. The air is cooler now. The scent of water and earth carries faintly. Birds move softly overhead. Reeds sway gently. The village settles into evening calm. Inside, the household prepares the evening meal. The fire glows. Ingredients are combined carefully, slowly, deliberately. Grain, water, small vegetables or portions of fish. Each movement calm, measured, deliberate. The meal is shared quietly. Afterwards, the farmer steps outside once more. The sun lowers. Shadows stretch across the fields. The river reflects the gentle hues of approaching evening. A soft breeze carries the last warmth of the day. He sits at the edge of the field, breathes slowly, watches the river, the reeds, the village, the horizon where light fades. Time feels steady, calm, unbroken. Eventually he rises, walks back into the home, lies down. The day releases its weight. The land rests. The river continues its endless, gentle flow, and the farmer sleeps as night folds over the world once more.
The night deepens once again over the village and the fields. Darkness is soft, gentle, like a quiet blanket covering the land. The air cools slowly. A faint breeze drifts through the reeds by the riverbank, brushing them lightly and sending faint whispers across the water. The Nile flows steadily, silently, carrying life and memory in its constant rhythm. The farmer sleeps. His body rests fully. His breathing is even and calm, slow and steady. Muscles loosened from the day's work. The house is quiet. The fire is cold. Outside, the village is still. Occasionally, a small movement, a distant animal, the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle ripple of water breaks the quiet, but only briefly, and only as part of the rhythm of the night. Stars appear in the sky, steady and bright, unchanging, small points of light that shine without urgency. Time moves slowly. A faint glow begins at the horizon. Morning is arriving softly. The farmer stirs. A gentle stretch, a slow, quiet breath. His eyes open to the dim light of the new day. The walls of his home hold the cool of night, offering calm and safety. He rises slowly, steps carefully toward the entrance. Outside, the air is crisp and still. The first light spreads gently over the fields. The reeds sway faintly. The Nile glimmers quietly. The village has yet to awaken fully. He walks slowly to the river. The path beneath his feet is familiar. Each step is deliberate. Dust rises faintly, then settles again. The river reflects the early light, moving quietly in its endless flow. He kneels, cups the water in his hands, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him gently, a reminder that life continues, that the day begins again, that work awaits. He stands, looks along the river. The reeds sway lightly. The distant fields are still. The village is beginning to awake slowly. He walks back toward the home. Inside, the household stirs. The fire is lit. Grain is measured. Water is added. Food is prepared with calm, deliberate care. Each movement slow, measured, and unhurried. The morning meal is shared quietly. Every bite and sip is taken gently, with attention, with patience. Afterward, the farmer steps outside. The sun spreads soft light across the fields. The river glimmers faintly. The air is warm, soft against his skin. He lifts his tools. The wood feels familiar in his hands, each handle smooth from repeated use.
each tool a companion in the steady work of the day. He walks toward the field. The seeds planted in previous days rest beneath the soil. Today's work is tending, checking channels, adjusting water flow, removing small weeds, smoothing the soil, observing subtle signs of growth. Each movement deliberate, slow, calm. The irrigation channels reflect the soft morning light. Water moves quietly, slipping into the soil to nourish what is unseen. He kneels, adjusts a small ridge here, smooths a mound there, observes how the water flows. Each tiny shift matters. Nearby, other farmers move quietly. Some kneel in the soil, some adjust channels, some rest briefly in the shade. All follow the calm, slow rhythm of the land and the river, guided by the steady pulse of the day. The sun climbs higher. Shadows shift and lengthen, then soften again as the light moves across the land. The air grows warmer, but a faint breeze carries the scent of water and earth, soft against the skin. The river flows steadily beside the fields, constant, unhurried, unbroken. The farmer kneels again, touches the soil lightly, removes small weeds, smooths the surface, observes the movement of water, adjusts gently where necessary. Everything is deliberate, slow, and calm. He stands, surveys the field. Beneath the soil, life is stirring. Water nourishes the seeds. The sun warms them. Each small action contributes to growth and the quiet rhythm of life. He walks slowly back toward the village. The air is cooler now. Birds move softly overhead. Reeds sway gently. The village settles into quiet rhythms as the day moves toward evening. Inside, the household prepares the evening meal. The fire glows softly. Ingredients are combined carefully, slowly. Grain, water, vegetables, or small portions of fish. Each movement calm, measured, deliberate. The meal is shared quietly. Afterward, the farmer steps outside. The sun dips lower. Shadows stretch across the fields. The river reflects the warm colors of the approaching evening. A soft breeze carries the last warmth of the day. He sits at the edge of the field, breathes slowly, watches the river, the reeds, the village, the horizon where light fades. Time feels steady, calm, unbroken. Eventually, he rises, walks back into the home, lies down. The day releases its weight.
The night stretches quietly over the fields once again. Darkness is soft, calm, like a heavy cloth settling gently over the land. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint earthy scent of soil and water. The reeds by the river sway slowly, brushing together
with a whispering sound that moves across the quiet landscape. The Nile flows steadily, a smooth, constant pulse beneath the stars. Its gentle motion carries life, moving forward without hurry, without pause. The farmer sleeps. His body is fully at rest. Muscles that carried him through the day loosened completely. Breathing is slow and even, merging with the quiet rhythm of the night. Outside, the village lies still. Occasionally, a faint rustle of leaves, the soft footfall of an animal, or the gentle ripple of water passes through the air, but only briefly. These sounds are not interruptions, they are part of the night itself, quiet markers of life continuing gently. Stars appear in the sky, steady and distant, shining softly, unchanging, calm. Time moves slowly. A faint glow begins to emerge along the horizon. Morning arrives softly. The farmer stirs. A gentle stretch, a slow, deliberate breath. His eyes open to the dim light of early day. The walls of the home hold the cool of night, offering quiet and safety. He rises slowly, steps carefully toward the entrance. Outside, the air is fresh, soft and still. The horizon glows faintly. Light spreads gently over the fields. The reeds sway lightly. The Nile glimmers quietly. The village is just beginning to stir. He walks slowly toward the river. The path beneath his feet is firm and familiar. Each step is deliberate. Dust rises faintly, then settles again. The water reflects the early light, moving quietly in its endless flow. He kneels, cups the water, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him softly, a reminder that the day has begun. Life continues, work awaits. He stands, looks along the river. The reeds sway softly. The distant fields remain calm. The village begins to wake slowly, without rush. He walks back toward his home. Inside, the household stirs gradually. The fire is lit. Grain is measured. Water is added. Food is prepared with deliberate, careful motions, each movement slow, unhurried, steady. The morning meal is shared quietly. Each bite and sip is taken with attention and patience. Afterward, the farmer steps outside. The sun spreads soft light across the fields. The river glimmers faintly. The air is warm, gentle against his skin. He lifts his tools. The wood of the handles feels familiar, smooth from repeated use. Each tool fits naturally in his hands, shaped by years of practice and care. He walks toward the field. The seeds planted in previous days rest beneath the soil. Today's work is tending, checking irrigation channels, removing small weeds, smoothing the soil, observing subtle signs of growth. Each movement deliberate, slow, calm. Water moves quietly through the channels, slipping into the soil to nourish the unseen seeds. He kneels, adjusts a small ridge, smooths a mound, observes how the water flows. Each tiny shift matters, though subtle. Nearby, other farmers work quietly. Some kneel in their soil, some adjust channels, some rest briefly in the shade. All move at the same patient pace, guided by the rhythm of the land and river. The sun climbs higher. Shadows shift and lengthen, then soften again as the light moves. The air warms, carrying the soft scent of water and earth. The river flows steadily beside the fields, constant, unhurried. He kneels again, touches the soil lightly, removes a few weeds, smooths the surface. observes water moving gently through channels, adjusts subtly where necessary. Everything is calm, deliberate, slow. He stands, surveys the field. Beneath the soil, life is forming. Water nourishes seeds, sun warms them. Each small action supports growth, the steady rhythm of life. He walks slowly back toward the village. The air is cooler now. Birds move softly overhead. Reeds sway gently. The village settles into calm rhythms as the day begins to ease toward evening. Inside, the household prepares the evening meal. The fire glows softly. Ingredients are combined carefully, slowly. Grain, water, vegetables, or small portions of fish. Each movement measured, quiet, unhurried. The evening meal is shared gently, without words, in the calm rhythm of daily life. Afterward, the farmer steps outside again. The sun dips lower. Shadows stretch across the fields. The river reflects the warm colors of evening. A soft breeze carries the last warmth of the day. He sits at the edge of the field, breathes slowly, watches the river, the reeds, the village, the horizon where light fades. Time feels steady, calm, unbroken. Eventually, he rises, walks back into the home, lies down. The day releases its weight. The land rests. The river continues its endless flow, and the farmer sleeps as night enfolds the world once more.
The night settles deeply over the village and the fields once more. Darkness is soft, calm, and unhurried. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint, gentle scent of soil and water. Reeds along the riverbank sway quietly, brushing together with soft whispers. The Nile flows steadily, silently, a constant pulse beneath the stars, moving life along its patient, endless rhythm. The farmer sleeps. His body rests fully, muscles loosened from the day's labor. His breathing is slow and even, blending seamlessly into the quiet rhythm of the night. Outside, the village is still. Occasionally, a faint rustle of leaves, the soft footfall of an animal, or the gentle ripple of water breaks the silence, but only briefly. These sounds are not disturbances. They belong to the calm of the night itself. Stars shine steadily above, small points of light, unchanging and quiet, steady companions to the sleeping earth. Time moves slowly. A faint glow begins along the horizon. Morning approaches. The farmer stirs. A gentle stretch, a slow, deliberate breath. His eyes open to the soft light of early day. The walls of his home hold the cool of night, offering calm and security. He rises slowly, steps carefully toward the entrance. Outside, the air is soft, fresh, and still. The first light spreads gently over the fields. Reeds sway faintly. The Nile glimmers quietly. The village is beginning to awaken slowly, without hurry. He walks to the river. The path beneath his feet is familiar, each step deliberate. Dust rises faintly, then settles. The water reflects the early light, flowing quietly in its endless path. He kneels, cups the water, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him gently. Life continues. The day begins. Work waits. He stands, looks along the river. The reeds sway lightly. The distant fields are calm. The village slowly stirs. He walks back toward his home. Inside, the household begins to wake. The fire is lit. Grain is measured. Water added.
food prepared with deliberate care, each motion slow, calm, and steady. The morning meal is shared quietly, each bite and sip taken with attention, with patience. Afterward, the farmer steps outside. The sun spreads soft light across the fields. The river glimmers faintly. The air is warm, gentle against his skin. He lifts his tools. The wood feels familiar beneath his hands, smooth from repeated use, each tool shaped by years of labor. He walks toward the field. Seeds planted in previous days rest beneath the soil. Today's work is tending, checking irrigation channels, removing small weeds, smoothing the soil, observing subtle signs of growth. Each movement deliberate, slow, calm, steady. Water moves quietly through the channels, slipping into the soil to nourish the unseen seeds. He kneels, adjusts a small ridge here, smooths a mound there, observes the water's flow. Each subtle adjustment matters, though it may be invisible to anyone else. Nearby, other farmers move in the same quiet rhythm. Some kneel in their soil, some adjust channels, some rest briefly in shade. All move slowly, patiently, in tune with the land and river. The sun climbs higher. Shadows shift and lengthen, then soften. The air warms, carrying the soft scent of water and earth. The river flows steadily beside the fields, constant, unhurried, unbroken. The farmer kneels again, touches the soil lightly, removes a few weeds, smooths the surface, observes the water's movement, adjusts subtly. Everything is deliberate, calm, measured. He stands, surveys the field. Beneath the soil, life stirs. Water nourishes seeds. The sun warms them. Each small action supports growth, the quiet rhythm of life. He walks slowly back toward the village. The air is cooler. Birds move softly overhead. Reeds sway gently. The village settles into calm rhythms as the day eases toward evening. Inside, the household prepares the evening meal. The fire glows softly. Ingredients are combined carefully, slowly. Grain, water, vegetables, small portions of fish. Each movement measured, calm, deliberate. The meal is shared quietly, without words, in the steady rhythm of daily life. Afterward, the farmer steps outside once more. The sun dips lower. Shadows stretch across the fields. The river reflects the warm colors of evening. A soft breeze carries the last warmth of the day. He sits at the edge of the field, breathes slowly, watches the river, the reeds, the village, the horizon where light fades. Time feels steady, calm, unbroken. Eventually, he rises, walks back into the home, lies down.
The night deepens once again, soft and gentle over the village and the surrounding fields. Darkness spreads like a quiet blanket, folding the land into calm. The air carries the subtle scent of wet soil, river water, and dry reeds. The Nile flows steadily, moving endlessly, its surface glinting faintly under the light of the stars. The reeds along the river sway softly in a slow, measured rhythm, brushing against one another with quiet, rustling whispers. The farmer sleeps. His body rests fully, the labor of the day melting away into stillness. Breathing is slow and even, calm as the flowing river. Outside, the village is silent. Occasionally, a soft rustle of leaves, the faint movement of an animal, or a ripple along the water's edge can be heard, but these sounds are gentle, part of the night's quiet music. Stars shine steadily above, small points of calm in the dark sky, unchanging, distant, and quiet. Time drifts slowly. Along the horizon, a faint glow begins to appear. Morning comes softly. The farmer stirs. A gentle stretch, a deep, slow breath, eyes opening to the dim light of early day. The walls of his home hold the cool of night, offering calm and security. He rises slowly, steps carefully toward the entrance. Outside, the air is soft and fresh. The horizon glows faintly. Light spreads gently across the fields, touching the soil, the river, and the reeds swaying along its edge. The village is beginning to awaken slowly, quietly, without hurry. He walks toward the river. The path beneath his feet is firm and familiar. Each step is deliberate. Dust rises faintly and settles again. The water reflects the gentle morning light, flowing endlessly, calmly, in a smooth rhythm. He kneels, cups the water, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him softly, a reminder that life continues, that the day begins and work awaits. He stands, looks along the river. The reeds sway softly. The distant fields remain calm. The village begins to move quietly, slowly. He walks back toward the home. Inside, the household stirs gradually. The fire is lit, grain measured, water added, food prepared with care. Each movement slow, deliberate, unhurried. The morning meal is shared quietly. Each bite and sip is gentle, taken with attention and patience. Afterward, the farmer steps outside once more. The sun spreads soft light across the fields. The river glimmers faintly. The air is warm but gentle. He lifts his tools. The wood feels familiar in his hands, smooth from years of use. Each tool a companion in the rhythm of labor, shaped by repeated practice. He walks toward the field. The seeds planted in previous days rest beneath the soil. Today's work is tending, checking irrigation channels, adjusting water flow, removing small weeds, smoothing the soil, observing subtle signs of growth. Each movement deliberate, calm, precise. Water moves quietly through the channels, slipping into the soil to nourish the unseen seeds. He kneels, adjusts a small ridge here, smooths a mound there, observes how the water flows. Every subtle movement matters. Nearby, other farmers work quietly. Some kneel in their soil, some adjust channels,
Some pause briefly in shade. All move in harmony with the rhythm of the land, guided by the steady pulse of the river. The sun climbs higher. Shadows shift slowly. The air warms. The breeze carries the faint scent of water and earth. The river flows beside the fields, constant, unhurried, gentle. The farmer kneels again, touches the soil lightly, removes a few weeds, smooths the surface, observes water moving gently through channels, adjusts subtly where needed. Everything is deliberate, calm, slow. He stands, surveys the field. Beneath the soil, life stirs. Water nourishes seeds. Sun warms them. Each action contributes to the quiet rhythm of growth. He walks slowly back toward the village. The air is cooler now. Birds move softly overhead. Reeds sway gently. The village settles into evening calm. Inside, the household prepares the evening meal. The fire glows softly. Ingredients are combined carefully, slowly. Grain, water, vegetables, or small portions of fish. Each movement calm, measured, deliberate. The meal is shared quietly. Afterward, the farmer steps outside once more. The sun dips lower. Shadows stretch across the fields. The river reflects the warm colors of evening. A soft breeze carries the last warmth of the day. He sits at the edge of the field, breathes slowly, watches the river, the reeds, the village, the horizon where light fades. Time feels steady, calm, unbroken. Eventually, he rises, walks back into the home, lies down. The day releases its weight. The land rests. The river continues its endless flow, and the farmer sleeps as night enfolds the world once more. The days that follow settle into this slow, repeating rhythm. Sun rises, soft and steady. The farmer wakes slowly. Air is cool. River glints faintly. Reeds sway. Village moves quietly. River flows steadily. He walks to the field, tools in hand, soil beneath fingers, seeds beneath surface, water flowing gently through channels, small adjustments made, weeds removed, soil smoothed, ridges formed, tiny shifts guiding water evenly. Each movement deliberate, calm, slow. Nearby, others work quietly, following the same patient rhythm. Sun moves across the sky. Shadows stretch, shift, soften. Air warms. Breeze carries the scent of water and earth. Birds call faintly. The village hums softly in the background. Midday, the farmer rests briefly, sits on his heels, breathes slowly, observes water, soil, subtle growth beneath hands. Life continues quietly. Then he resumes work. Afternoon passes. Light softens. Air cools slightly. Shadows lengthen. Water flows steadily. Life continues in measured, patient rhythm. Evening comes. Household gathers for a simple meal. Fire glows warmly. Ingredients are combined carefully, slowly. Grain, water, vegetables, or small portions of fish. Each movement calm, measured, deliberate. The meal is shared quietly. Afterward, the farmer steps outside once more. The sun dips lower. Shadows stretch across the fields. The river reflects the warm colors of evening. A soft breeze carries the last warmth of the day. He sits at the edge of the field, breathes slowly, watches the river, the reeds, the village, the horizon where light fades. Time feels steady, calm, unbroken. Eventually, he rises, walks back into the home, lies down. The day releases its weight. The land rests. The river continues its endless flow, and the farmer sleeps as night enfolds the world once more.
The night settles softly over the village and the fields. Darkness is calm, heavy but gentle, like a quiet blanket laid over the earth. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint scent of wet soil, the river, and the swaying reeds. The Nile flows steadily, silently, its surface glinting faintly beneath the stars. Its motion is constant, unhurried, like a slow, steady heartbeat of the land. The farmer sleeps. His body is fully relaxed, muscles loosened from the day's labor. Breathing is even and calm, blending with the gentle sounds of the night. Outside, the village lies still. Occasionally, the faint shuffle of an animal, the soft rustle of leaves, or a ripple along the water passes through the air, but these are subtle and gentle, part of the night itself. Stars shine above, small, steady points of light, calm and distant, shining without hurry, without change. Time moves slowly. A faint glow begins along the horizon. Morning comes softly. The farmer stirs. A gentle stretch, a slow breath, his eyes open to the dim light of early day. The walls of the home hold the cool of night, quiet and protective. He rises slowly, steps carefully toward the entrance. Outside, the air is soft and fresh. The horizon glows faintly. Light spreads gently over the fields. Reeds sway softly. The river glimmers quietly. The village begins to awaken slowly, quietly, without hurry. He walks toward the river. The path beneath his feet is familiar, each step deliberate. Dust rises faintly and settles again. The water reflects the morning light, flowing calmly, endlessly, silently. He kneels, cups the water, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him softly, a reminder that life continues, that the day begins, that work awaits. He stands, looks along the river. Reeds sway gently. The distant fields remain calm. The village begins its quiet morning stirrings. He walks back toward the home. Inside, the household stirs gradually. The fire is lit, grain measured, water added, food prepared with careful, deliberate motions, each movement slow, calm, and steady. The morning meal is shared quietly. Each bite and sip is gentle, taken with attention and patience. Afterward, the farmer steps outside. The sun spreads soft light across the fields. The river glimmers faintly. The air is warm, gentle against his skin. He lifts his tools. The wood feels familiar in his hands, smooth from repeated use, each tool shaped by years of labor. He walks toward the field. The seeds planted in previous days rest beneath the soil. Today's work is tending, checking irrigation channels, adjusting water flow, removing small weeds, smoothing the soil, observing subtle signs of growth. Each movement deliberate, calm, slow. Water moves quietly through the channels, slipping into the soil to nourish the unseen seeds.
He kneels, adjusts a small ridge here, smooths a mound there, observes the water's flow. Each tiny adjustment.
The night settles softly over the village and the fields. Darkness is calm, heavy but gentle, like a quiet blanket laid over the earth. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint scent of wet soil, the river and the swaying reeds. The Nile flows steadily, silently, its surface glinting faintly beneath the stars. Its motion is constant, unhurried, like a slow, steady heartbeat of the land. The farmer sleeps. His body is fully relaxed, muscles loosened from the day's labor. Breathing is even and calm, blending with the gentle sounds of the night. Outside, the village lies still. Occasionally, the faint shuffle of an animal, the soft rustle of leaves, or a ripple along the water passes through the air, but these are subtle and gentle, part of the night itself. Stars shine above, small, steady points of light, calm and distant, shining without hurry, without change. Time moves slowly. A faint glow begins along the horizon. Morning comes softly. The farmer stirs. A gentle stretch, a slow breath, his eyes open to the dim light of early day. The walls of the home hold the cool of night, quiet and protective. He rises slowly, steps carefully toward the entrance. Outside, the air is soft and fresh. The horizon glows faintly. Light spreads gently over the fields. Reeds sway softly. The river glimmers quietly. The village begins to awaken slowly, quietly, without hurry. He walks toward the river. The path beneath his feet is familiar, each step deliberate. Dust rises faintly and settles again. The water reflects the morning light, flowing calmly, endlessly, silently. He kneels, cups the water, brings it to his face. The coolness awakens him softly, a reminder that life continues, that the day begins, that work awaits. He stands, looks along the river. Reeds sway gently. The distant fields remain calm. The village begins its quiet morning stirrings. He walks back toward the home. Inside, the household stirs gradually. The fire is lit, grain measured, water added, food prepared with careful, deliberate motions, each movement slow, calm, and steady. The morning meal is shared quietly. Each bite and sip is gentle, taken with attention and patience. Afterward, the farmer steps outside. The sun spreads soft light across the fields. The river glimmers faintly. The air is warm, gentle against his skin. He lifts his tools. The wood feels familiar in his hands, smooth from repeated use, each tool shaped by years of labor. He walks toward the field. The seeds planted in previous days rest beneath the soil. Today's work is tending, checking irrigation channels, adjusting water flow, removing small weeds, smoothing the soil, observing subtle signs of growth. Each movement deliberate, calm, slow. Water moves quietly through the channels, slipping into the soil to nourish the unseen seeds. He kneels, adjusts a small ridge here, smooths a mound there, observes the water's flow. Each tiny adjustment matters. Nearby, other farmers work quietly. Some kneel in soil, some adjust channels, some rest briefly in shade. All move in harmony with the land, the river, the rhythm of the day.
The sun climbs higher. Shadows shift and lengthen, then soften. The air warms. A gentle breeze carries the faint scent of water and earth. The river flows beside the fields, constant, unhurried, calm. The farmer kneels again, touches the soil lightly, removes a few weeds, smooths the surface, observes the water moving gently, adjusts subtly. Everything is deliberate, calm, slow. He stands, surveys the field. Beneath the soil, life stirs. Water nourishes seeds, sun warms them. Each small action contributes to growth and the quiet rhythm of life. He walks slowly back toward the village. The air is cooler. Birds move softly overhead. Reeds sway gently. The village settles into calm rhythms as the day eases toward evening. Inside, the household prepares the evening meal. The fire glows softly. Ingredients are combined carefully, slowly. Grain, water, vegetables, or small portions of fish. Each movement measured, calm, deliberate. The meal is shared quietly. Afterward, the farmer steps outside once more. The sun dips lower. Shadows stretch across the fields. The river reflects the warm colors of evening. A soft breeze carries the last.
The light of the day fades very slowly now. The sun lowers itself gently toward the horizon, its warmth soft and quiet, no longer strong, only lingering. Shadows stretch across the fields, long and calm, resting over the ridges of soil and the quiet channels of water. The air cools little by little. A soft breeze moves through the reeds along the riverbank. They whisper gently, brushing against one another in a slow, steady rhythm. The river reflects the fading light, turning from gold to a softer shade, then slowly to silver as evening deepens. The farmer sits at the edge of his field. He does not hurry. His hands rest loosely. His breathing is slow and even. He looks out across the land that has carried him through so many quiet days. The soil, the water, the grain, the gentle work repeated again and again. Everything feels still. Everything feels complete. The village behind him grows quiet. Small sounds fade one by one. Footsteps slow. Voices soften. Fires burn low. A calm settles over everything, like a soft blanket placed gently over the land. The farmer watches the river. It continues, as it always has, moving slowly, patiently, without effort. It does not rush. It does not stop. It simply flows, carrying time forward in the most gentle way. The sky darkens. The first stars appear, faint and steady. One by one more follow, scattered across the quiet sky. The river begins to reflect them, tiny points of light drifting softly on its surface. The fields rest. The soil holds its quiet strength. Beneath it, life waits patiently, unseen but steady, ready for its time to return. The farmer rises slowly. There is no sudden movement, no urgency, only a calm shift as he stands and takes one last look across the land. Then he turns. He walks back toward his home, each step soft against the earth. The doorway welcomes him with familiar stillness. Inside, the air is cool and calm. He lies down. His body settles into rest. Muscles soften. Breath slows. The quiet of the night wraps around him gently. Outside, the river continues its endless journey.
The reeds sway softly. The village sleeps. The fields rest beneath the starlight. Time moves forward, slow and steady, just as it always has. Morning will come again, softly and without hurry. The river will still be there. The soil will still wait. The quiet work will begin again, just as it always does. But for now, there is only stillness, only calm, only the gentle rhythm of breath and the distant, quiet flow of water. The farmer sleeps. The village sleeps. The land rests. And the river flows on, endlessly, softly, carrying the quiet world through the night.